Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Sunday. It's Daryl here. It's not so bright and early. It's freaking 5 o'clock here in Connecticut on the East Coast. I was in the middle of my workout, and in the previous video, I told you guys I had this video that I was dying to download. Sometimes I really like the way a video comes out. I feel strongly about it, and this is one of those videos. So I was just trying to pick the perfect time because I knew I was going to be busy this weekend, so I was going to download it today. And I erased the damn thing. It was a video called, I was going to name it Dating Tips for Nick Fuentes fans or for involuntary celibates or incels. Dating tips for them. And it was from my heart. It's from a place of compassion reaching out to you guys. Because you don't need to be lonely. You really don't. You might just be approaching this the wrong way. So I had some dating tips for you guys. So I was in the middle of my workout, and I hate going back and making videos because when I do a video, I'm really just in the moment. I'm in that place, and I get all these. I don't usually write stuff down. I just get inspired, and trying to go back and recapture, light that flame again, is tough sometimes. So, as I was just doing pull-ups, you can see the pull-up bar right there. I thought about what I wanted to say, so here it is. Here's some dating tips for Nick Fuentes fans and involuntary celibates or incels. Okay, my point here is it doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter how much you weigh. There's other things that are far more important. And I'm going to mention a prime example in a moment. The number one tip for guys that are looking to approach women, they want to date a woman, the number one on my list is humor. I look back at all my relationships, and the best times I remember with Audrey are times we were laughing. You ask a woman, what attracts them to a guy, and I don't know here. I'm just saying I'm guessing, but I'm guessing that most women would say a good sense of humor. Everybody loves to laugh. A relationship is supposed to be your rock, not just your rock, but the place you go for relief from the world, to laugh. Humor is one of the most important things. And look at some of the comedians. Look at Pete Davidson. And which Kardashian was he dating? Is it Kim? Pete, man, I love Pete Davidson. And I could have a whole list of other comedians. You look at some of these comedians, and they're not the best, the most handsome, classically handsome people. But I'm telling you, man, you got a good. And a lot of times, comedians have a deep soul too. It takes intelligence to have a sense of humor, a sense of irony, a quick wit. So not only humor is also a sign of intelligence, of knowing what's going on in the world, knowing, having a feeling for other people, having empathy, and so it's not just about laughing. It shows a deeper character to the person. Humor, number one. If you can, it has nothing to do. If you can look like the back end of a cow, man, and weigh 500 pounds, but if you got a good sense of humor, it's gonna get you places. Okay, second thing, confidence. You got to have confidence. And there's a big difference between confidence and arrogance, a huge difference. The girlfriend before Audrey, Paula, asked me one time, because it was my first relationship I had being clean and sober. And I did have a little overconfidence sometimes. I'll admit it. And she asked me, do you think you're arrogant? And I can't even remember what I said, to tell you the truth, but she kind of explained to me arrogance really simply, and it's a very unattractive quality in a person. So you don't want to overdo it. Confidence is just a solid belief in yourself, and when you're confident, you don't have to say anything. It's just you exude a natural ease of personality. You don't worry about what somebody thinks of what you just said. You don't. It's natural to question yourself to some extent, but not just having confidence in yourself, but believing that it's not all that important if this person likes you or what that person thinks of you. What matters is what you think of yourself. That's the bottom line. Confidence shows. I remember dating one girl, and she was beautiful, and she was had a great personality, but she lacked confidence. And I remember going to the beach one time. It's when we split up, because she kept looking down on herself and how she looked, and it really just sucked the life out of the whole day. She lacked so much confidence that there was no room for to have a good time, to laugh, for humor or anything, and I just didn't see, the person. I couldn't help her with that, and that's something you gotta build up in yourself: confidence, humor, and confidence. Now here's one. I don't know how I started doing this or why I started doing this. Like I've told you guys, I've had 2 serious relationships in the last 16 years of sobriety. Loves of my life. Women I've loved with all my heart. Paula for a year and Audrey until she passed away, for about 4 or 5 years. And it started with Paula, because I looked at relationships differently. It was my first clean relationship. I started opening doors, not just for her, but for other women, especially like car doors. Always making a point. And we almost, she started kind of laughing at me and ribbing me at first. Like I would make a point, even if I was on my side of the car, I'd be like, oh, wait a minute, and I'd run over to the other side of the car and then open the door for her, She just kind of looked at me like, really? But I heard, I realized how much women talk and how much deep down a lot of women, some women won't appreciate this. Some women would just rather assume open the doors for themselves, and that's okay too. Just, you respect that. But a couple of years later, I found out that a friend of Paula's had driven by when I was opening the car door for Paula. And women talk, and they talked amongst themselves how, well, Paula's new boyfriend even opens the door for her. My own husband doesn't do that, Paula, and she was a lucky girl. And I found out about this after the relationship was over. On Facebook, somebody laughingly told me it was one of the women that was in this conversation. And, and I started opening the doors for my sister, for my mother. And it became something that I just got accustomed to doing. I got to admit, well, there hasn't been a whole lot of women in my life in the last couple months or years. So I haven't really had the opportunity to do this. But I would recommend this. It's a sign of respect. It's a step back to the old chivalry. I think a lot of women, I think they kind of, they like it. I think they kind of, I forgot the word I was looking for, but that I would recommend. And unless there's going to be some women that almost take offense to this, and that might not be the kind of woman for me. Now that leads me into the next part of my conversation. Okay, there's going to be guys out there that say, well, look, I don't want that kind. No, even though I haven't had any girlfriend my whole life. That's the whole reason I'm making this video, because supposedly Nick Fuentes and his followers, Nick Fuentes is still a virgin. He's never had a girlfriend. He's in his 20s. And that's the reason I'm making this video. But I suppose that one of them is picky enough that they wrote me and they said they want a woman who knows her place, that defers all the decisions to the man. The man's place is the man, the leader of the family, and a woman knows when to zip it and speak when spoken to. Seriously, there's guys out there that they don't want an uppity over how anybody could be overeducated. That's ridiculous. But they don't want an uppity, overeducated woman. They want a woman who knows her place. And I'm gonna tell you why I don't, and why it's not a good idea. I think the best, either a guy or a girl, you need a person that has confidence. Again, it goes back to confidence in themselves, that believes in themselves, a strong sense of themselves, a strong sense of character. Back when I was using for a good part of my life, for some reason or another, especially when I was using, I was drawn to women, I hate to use this term, but had daddy issues, that didn't have a father. I didn't even figure this out until I was in recovery. And I was drawn to women, like I have never hit a woman in my life, never even thought of hitting a woman in my life, but I dated women who were physically abused. And I thought, I'm the knight in shining armor, this woman is going to love me, because I'm a good guy. I'm going to treat her like she deserves to be treated. And I found out that is not true, because a lot of these women lack self-confidence. A lot of these women have come to believe that the way they were treated is love. Like I said, not all women, but this is something I noticed in my life, that it was a lack of confidence. A lot, but not all of these women that didn't have a strong male figure in their early years. They seemed to want male approval more. Like they were more apt to be drawn to people, not more or less any man that gave them attention. They found that attractive when they were paid compliments, even though more than likely the compliments were just a means to an end to get something from them. And personally, I look at women who defer to men, to that men are stronger, that men they don't deserve to have a say, that they're just a housewife and that's their role and they're the weaker sex. To me, I found that those women are similar. Like they lack a sense of confidence, and for me, that's not somebody that I want in a relationship. I want somebody that's got a strong sense of themselves. They know what they want. They won't settle for less, and and then if they pick me, like I trusted Audrey without a doubt. I never questioned anything she said or did, because I believed her. I trusted her, and she never gave me any reason not to. She had a strong sense of confidence. I think women that look at themselves as weaker, as the weaker sex, as knowing their place, lack this sense of confidence. If another man were to come along when their main guy isn't around, and showed a stronger sense of confidence, would tell her more what to do, because she lacks that sense of confidence in picking her own mate, I think they could be more easily persuaded that they wouldn't be as trustworthy. They wouldn't be as loyal. That's my opinion. I don't know if I don't know if I'm saying something that's politically correct or incorrect, but I think trust is one of the most important things in a relationship. And in order to have trust, you gotta have a confident partner, a person who knows what they want, and they picked you. So they're you can trust them. You trust they have a strong sense of themselves. They know what they want and they've got it. That's the person that I want in my life, and I'd recommend that to other people too. Sometimes just because a woman makes you feel like a man isn't necessarily a good thing, And a lot of these guys have problems with jealousy, and this is why you can't. A lot of these guys deep down don't feel like they could trust a woman who lacks self-confidence, a belief in herself. And those are my dating tips. I'm sorry, guys. I wish I kept the original video because I was very proud of it. I hope I did it some justice with this video. You guys have yourselves a great Sunday.